We have extra perspective tonight on the cost of the state trial against Patrick Crusius. As the year winds down, the state's case against the Cielo Vista Walmart mass shooter is inching forward. Crusius was convicted in federal court of killing 23 people and wounding 22 others on August 3rd, 2019. State prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty. And tonight, Good Morning El Paso anchor Saul Sides has new information on the cost of the state case so far. ABC-7 obtained records under the Texas Public Information Act showing Crusius' case has cost Texas taxpayers close to $2 million. And as Saul reports, the cost could still skyrocket.
Current El Paso District Attorney Bill Hicks doubts the Patrick Crusius capital murder case will be over next year and says he's running for office so he can lead the case himself.
I'm not convinced or satisfied that we're going to be done with the Walmart case before the end of 2024. If we're not, I certainly want to see that case through.
Defense attorney Omar Carmona, who has experience with capital murder cases, agrees it's a complex case, the likes of which has never been tried before in the state of Texas.
There hasn't been a mass shooting at this level that is going to be tried to a jury where the death penalty is on the table. So we don't have a blueprint. There is no other case in Texas to compare it to. So bearing that in mind, it is going to be an expensive case.
Records obtained by ABC-7 show in fiscal years 2022 and 23, the district attorney's office received grant funds close to $4 million from the governor's office for the August 3rd trial expenses. Documents show as of October 2nd, nearly $739,000 had been spent. But Hicks says his office has set aside $1.4 million for 2 trial team chiefs, 1 principal and 1 appellate attorney, 6 data clerks, 2 paralegals, 2 legal secretaries, 1 investigator. That in addition to funds for expert witnesses, data management system, travel, and other expenses. Taxpayers are also covering funds for the defense since Patrick Crusius told the court he can't afford a lawyer. Well, we asked the lead defense attorney, Joe Spencer, the very same question about how funds are being spent, and he wouldn't disclose the number of people working on the case, saying, quote, "The members of the defense team are confidential and privileged." Records obtained by ABC-7 show Spencer's team has spent $1.2 million.
These are 3 lawyers that have dedicated their careers to handling these types of cases. So when we see the numbers, we can trust that these lawyers are using that money effectively and making the most out of the dollar.
But when it comes to a change of venue, Carmona and Hicks disagree. Carmona believes the defense will ask for the trial to be held elsewhere. Hicks believes qualified jurors can be found in El Paso and the case can remain here.
It ultimately comes down to the judge who gets to make the decision. Under very limited circumstances, the state can request a change of venue. I don't think that those circumstances will exist in this case.
But you anticipate the defense trying to request one?
I don't.
You anticipate change of venue?
I mean, obviously, I don't know what they're thinking, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the argument's made.
A change of venue would increase the cost of the trial because attorneys, witnesses, experts, and staff will have to travel. Both Hicks and Carmona agree this will be a long trial, despite the fact the federal government has already convicted Crusius of the crimes.
We still have to prove our case beyond a reasonable doubt. We still have to prove that Mr. Crusius killed 23 people.
Which he's already been convicted in federal court.
Well, except that he was convicted in federal court under different elements. And while that can be a little difficult to understand, the elements of the crime are very different in federal court versus state court.
How so?
And in federal court it was a hate crime. So it's kind of like if you were convicted of intentionally and knowingly doing an act with a specific intent. And here you're just specifically knowingly doing an act. So there's not a specific intent there.
Right now, District Attorney Hicks believes the trial could last 3 to 4 weeks. However, that's not taking into consideration the appellate process, which is automatic in a death penalty case. Saul Saenz, ABC-7.
And in July, ABC-7 asked U.S. District Judge David Guadarrama to release the financial records related to the federal case on behalf of you, our viewers, to see how much taxpayers paid for the federal trial. A law clerk replied saying the court would not disclose information until it got input from the parties and the case against Crusius had ended. Defense attorney Joe Spencer blamed the delay in the state trial on the district attorney's office. Spencer told El Paso Matters there are millions of documents, some of which he says are corrupted files, while others are duplicates. DA Hicks responded to that allegation, telling El Paso Matters he heard about a computer virus, but was unaware of his office sending the defense any corrupted files.